The Empire's flags are all around once again, because if you've seen The Rise of Skywalker, and if you haven't, this is probably not the show for you, but if you have, those flags have made a comeback. She-VP Emperor Palpatine has returned. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. I'm James. I'm joined with Andrew as always, but nobody cares about him. We got two special guests. We have executive producer Heidi Fetter joining us. She's up top in the middle, and Robin Vogt from Brick City Blockade. He's just anxious to find out how correct he was on our prediction show on November 20th. He knows he got a perfect score. He knows it. How is everyone doing tonight?
Oh yeah, feeling real good.
You won't be in a few minutes.
Exactly.
It's going to be great. I think we're live today, unlike last week, Andrew. We had a little bit of a scuffle. Kayla's in the chat.
Mr. Can we change the name of this show from Flying Casual to I Think We're Live?
We should. We got Mr. Rez is here. Kayla's here. We're going to have a lot of fun talking about it. First of all, before we get into anything, I've been saying forever, I always thought that the Praetorian Guard scene in the Last Jedi was better than the Ben Solo versus Knights of Ren scene in The Rise of Skywalker. But I have to say this to everybody. Somebody cut Ben Solo kicking the Knights of Ren's butts to the song I Need a Hero. I Need a Hero. And I don't know, that might be my new favorite part of Star Wars of all time because of whoever made that cut. Have you guys seen that edit?
No, but I think that would be a really funny experiment one day. Something we can do with the fans is like, if you can insert one piece of popular Earth music into each Star War, what song would you put and where would you put it? I think that would be fun as hell. That needs to be a show.
Well, let's make that a show. Andrew, you're on that.
Deal.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching that clip the first time. I think it was Andrew Garish that shared it with me. And I was like, wait, hold on. Is this thing real to begin with? Like, is this one of those things that hits YouTube that is pulled off for copyright reasons after a little bit? So I went back on YouTube. No, it was still there. So I kept watching it over and over, and I'm like, this is exactly what we need right now. It's what Star Wars needs.
Heidi, have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
You're actually the one who created it. You are the editor.
No.
No. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
It's.
I'm a Bonnie Tyler fan, so.
Oh yeah, and I'm with Robin. I thought that thing would be off for sure. It's not, and I may or may not have downloaded it. Thanks everybody for watching. This is Flying Casual, our live stream. We do this Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern here on the Rebel Scum Podcast Network. Like and subscribe. That's something we never say off the top, ever. And I'm going to say that 4 minutes and 25 seconds into this show. Like and subscribe. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, do it right now. We'll wait. Yeah. We will wait in silence while you. That's how you get views and likes on YouTube, right? Silence while you wait for people to.
It's just 5 straight minutes of this.
It is. All right, it's going to be a lot of fun. November 20th, 1 month ago, we did a prediction show. The four of us sat down. It was an Unleashed. We did this prediction show.
2 months.
2 months ago on November 20th. Andrew was like, here's some questions for The Rise of Skywalker. And we all answered. And now we're about to find out how way off base we all were. Heidi, are you ready to hear your results?
Oh, yeah.
And Robin?
Yeah.
We just look at the chat right now. Pause the podcast so we can go watch it. All right, we'll give you that hour. We'll just wait. Charlie's internet's being awfully says it must be Canadian. That hurts, but is also very factual.
And
so,
James,
are the Canadian results a little bit different than the American results? Meters versus standard.
Yeah, every correct Canadian answer is worth 2 correct American answers.
No.
That's why Canada's so good at world hockey. For every goal scored, it's an extra 2 goals.
That's right.
That makes so much sense.
Makes so much sense.
That's how we roll in Canada, eh? Hey, by the way, is there a lot of snow where you guys are?
We got 3 inches on Saturday, and then the Saturday before it was 70, so I don't know what's going on with this weather.
Yeah. Kudos on that one. It was super hot. I was in Washington, D.C. I loved it. It was beautiful out. And then I come back to New England. I hop off the airplane. It's 28 degrees. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And it started snowing. We got 8 inches of snow up here. And I have a friend in Newfoundland, up in the Canada. They got packed.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad.
Yeah, Newfoundland is out of commission for a couple days.
Maybe
Just
the month.
enjoying their vacation.
I don't know think about enjoying. Although I have seen people do. Somebody they open up their front door and it's just a wall of snow and they put beer in the snow and I'm like, well, I guess you got to do what you could do, I suppose. It's crazy that I have one end of the world is frozen and the other end is on fire. It's weird times right now.
Weird time.
But I'm hoping the best for everybody. That's all.
Somebody in Newfoundland really pissed off Elsa.
There's no snow in Oklahoma. Showing off. Kayla is showing off, and now she is banned from the channel. There we go. All right, Andrew, do you want to start things off with our prediction show? Because I am ready for a great laugh.
By the way, that sounds like a country song that would rock at karaoke. There's no snow in Oklahoma.
Well, there's no snow.
I can hear it now.
He's got some line dancing.
No snow in Oklahoma.
Do you still have what's that bar in Georgetown? We just talking about Georgetown, Ontario, not the cool Georgetown. What's that one called? Is it like Nashville North or Dallas North or something?
Nashville North. It no longer exists.
No.
Just the bar, but you can't go in. It's an emptied out husk.
Sorry, guys. That's where we get our line dancing on.
Yeah. That's where everybody with a plaid shirt met their significant other in the Greater Toronto area.
That's why you're not wearing a plaid shirt today. All right.
Yeah. I'm in mourning. All right. So I got our predictions from November 20th. As James pointed out earlier, I just held up this paper 2 months ago, and I was like, I have some predictions. For some reason, in James's mind, I sound like J. Jonah Jameson. I got a sheet of predictions right here. Heidi, Robin, give me a picture of Spider-Man, post-haste. So I'm going to read out these predictions, and these questions, rather, and then I'm going to tell everybody what the 4 of us answered. Spoiler alert, if your name is Andrew, you didn't answer well. Okay, here we go. Starting off with an easy one. Will Leia survive the whole movie? Now, Robin, you said yes. It's okay. We were all hoping you would be right. Let's be honest.
We're definitely hoping.
Heidi, you said a hard no. I said no. James, I don't know if we can give you an extra point for this, but you said no, she'll be dead at the halfway point.
Does she die at the halfway point? I think it's half. I think it's past half. But I'll take that victory. I will.
4th down and 2. You can do that little quarterback sneak and get in there.
All right, we're good.
Yeah.
I am not a Packer today.
Question 2 was, how many different Force ghosts will we see? Heidi, you and I got overzealous. We both said 4. So no go there. Robin and James, you both said 3. Nobody said 2, which is a shame.
No.
I said Sith ghost in the arena.
So if you do the voices, then you're counting 1,000.
That's true, but the question does say C.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
but all the dead Sith were in the arena.
Were those guys ghosts, or were they like dudes in hoods?
I thought they were all former Sith.
I thought they were minions.
I know.
You know what I love about this movie? No questions to be asked afterwards.
Yeah, no questions at all. I was waiting for them to all like flick on a lighter when CVP started his lightning.
How cool would it have been if they all removed their hoods and they were all like Ewoks? Like just like you're like, whoa! Plot twist.
Okay, question 3. How many flashbacks will there be? Robin, you said 5. Mortis flashbacks through Palpatine's eyes. Again, I want to live in that world that you were in on November 20th. Because that sounds like a cool movie.
He was on the Trevorrow script on November 20th.
James, you said 4.5.
Yeah, I think I was right.
I think. I said 3, and Heidi, you said 2. All of us were incorrect.
How many were there? One?
There was 1.
Just the Luke and Leia?
Just that little itty bitty Luke and Leia one.
No, we see Unkar
Oh, no,
Plutt's arm.
Wait, you're right.
There was a flashback to when her parents were.
And her parents, yeah. Now that was
Kylo talking.
All the Rey stuff where she sees her past again and her parents and Unkar. Is that all one scene, or is that happening like scattered throughout the movie? Refresh my memory.
I haven't seen it in a while. I want to go, but the snow won't let me.
I want to say it was continual. So I want to say that then in that case there would have been 2.
2 in that case, yeah. So Heidi would be right.
I'll go Heidi. It's either 2 or 3. We'll give Heidi this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna give that point to Heidi. I'm gonna say 2.
Like when I type, everybody can hear me type. I am typing. I just wrote that. Sorry.
Speaking of which, here's question 4. Will Rey's parents be shown on screen? Robin, you said 0% chance.
Robin knows his Star Wars. Go subscribe to Brick City Blockade on iTunes. Where are you? Spotify, iTunes, everywhere, right?
Spotify, wherever that.
Yeah, everywhere. And
James, you also said no.
Yep. Yeah, that's clear. Wait. In December last year, I said yes. Oh my God, I'm an American politician.
I said
I winked.
I said yes, and Heidi, you said it's a 50% chance.
Huh?
I copped out.
Yeah.
So you have a point for that?
I think so, because it really is a 50-50 question.
Yeah.
Here we go. Next question, who is more likely to appear, Yoda or Unkar Plutt? Robin, you and I were riding the Unkar Plutt train to Victoryville, so there's a point for us
It's like
there.
a half-butt victory, though. It's his arm.
Well, that arm is no longer canon. She ripped it off. So technically it's a quarter portion. And James and Heidi, you both said Yoda. No dice on Yoda.
I'm pretty sure I said neither, though. And then I was like, if I have to choose, it'll be Yoda.
Yeah.
Heidi was actually like, I don't even like you.
Actually, James, your answer was there will be a point where Rey is lying down, you said, and she hears the voices of 17 different characters in the following order.
And I was like, you know what? Freddie Prinze Jr. for sure. Yeah.
Question 6. Now, this one's interesting. Question 6. I asked, who is more likely to die? Rey, Finn, or Poe? I said Poe. The rest of you all said Finn. And in this movie, Rey died for like 5 minutes, and the others were fine. So I think if anybody had said Rey, I would have definitely given them that point. But
And again, I think I said Rey in December. Like last December, like a year ago. Like I went way more positive, guys, in that year. Yeah.
November's a tough month for James.
I know. November's when I was like, I don't know. I just hope the fans like it. I was way off.
I just want you to love me.
Question 7. How many different lightsaber colors
Oh God.
will we see? James, I guess you were channeling Bob Iger because you said 2. Red and blue, because that's all there is in Star Wars.
That's all there is in Star Wars now.
I said 3. Robin, you also said 3. Actually, Robin, you said that we would see a corrupted green saber. Again, the movie that existed in your head on November 20th was a really cool movie. Heidi, you said 4, and that we would get a new color.
Ooh.
So there's a point for Heidi right there.
Right
Nice.
there.
We got
Golden.
4, right?
Yeah, we got 4.
And a new color, yeah, cool. So Heidi is Chris Terrio. So any of your concerns, please voice to Heidi at care of Disney.
Question 8. If we see one planet from episodes 1 through 6, which planet will we see? I was the only one who didn't get a point because I said Naboo. Heidi, you and James both said Tatooine, so there's a point for you guys. And Robin, you said Mustafar. So
Ooh, look out.
Everybody's rolling into points.
Yeah.
I think I said Naboo, one of the cuts made from the J.J. Abrams version.
Yeah, here's hoping. Here's hoping there's
Still
like
won't give you a
90
point,
minute
Andrew.
sequence
When
in
the
the
deleted scenes come out, we have to do a complete recalculation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, when that one gets announced, we'll do another prediction show so we can predict what's gonna happen.
All right, question 9. Which of the following words is most likely to be spoken out loud? Palpatine,
Oh God.
Anakin,
Oh no.
or Amidala? Heidi, looks like you're the only one who got a point because you said Palpatine. Everybody else said Anakin.
We're idiots. We know Palpatine's in the movie. Why wouldn't we just Palpatine? He's in the opening crawl. It's like the third word of the crawl is Palpatine.
If I remember right, I think my horrible train of thought was, in The Last Jedi, Luke called him Darth Sidious,
Yeah.
so that's all they're going to call him from now on.
Yeah.
No, they didn't even. They were just like, Palpatine's here. Palpatine.
Yeah. I was just waiting for one character to be like, who's that?
Yeah.
I'm young. Who is this? Who are we talking about?
Tom Jones, who?
Question 10. Please, God, let me get a point. By the end of the movie, will any Knight of Ren be alive?
Ooh.
I was the only one who said yes.
Amazing.
Robin said a hard no. Heidi said no. James said no, I guess, but maybe we'll get more.
Yeah, I mean, we might. I don't know. Maybe the comic shows there's another group of them. Ren
Well,
just
actually,
means Ren means lightsaber, right? So maybe I'm a Knight of Ren.
You're not wrong. Apparently, there's a Ren in the comics who's like the leader until
Um,
Kylo comes around.
Yeah.
So
So
you kind of were right on the money. Question 11. Will we see? Okay, now this one, guys, you're gonna need we're gonna need to adjudicate this as a group because this could go either way. Will we see Zori Bliss without her mask?
Ooh.
Now,
Oh.
because I'm biased, I would like to say that yes, this counts because my answer was yes because Kerry Russell is pretty. So
That's good. That's
It-
good.
Heidi also said yes. James said let's go with no, and Robin said no because she's mysterious.
here's okay. On one side of the coin, the eyes are the most telling part of the face, right? So once you see somebody's eyes, you know what they look like, essentially. Haven't you ever seen that movie In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood and John Malkovich? And he's like, I've seen your eyes. And that's how he
Oh,
knows
yeah.
who. Yeah. That's where I learned that. I'm going to say we each get a point on that one.
Hey,
I'll leave
I'm
it
good
to
with that.
I'll leave it to you to Heidi and Robin though. What do you guys think? Should we each get a point there?
I think we should each get a half point.
Half point.
Because that's all you see is half.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well played.
All right, half points it is. Question 12. Will Kylo Ren... Now, this one might also be up for debate. Will Kylo Ren have a scene with Leia?
Oh.
All four of us said yes.
We're
Heidi,
right.
Heidi, you said yes as a Force ghost. Robin, you said yes, and I will need tissues for that. And James, you just said yes twice in a row. I wrote down verbatim what everybody was saying. So
Well, I don't
you said-
remember this question or my answer, but yes. I was probably, okay.
Technically, because apparently this was cut from the movie too, but I guess technically Han Solo was not his memory. She projected Han Solo, and that's what killed him.
Ooh,
Right.
that's cool.
So maybe.
I'm gonna say yes.
I think that's half points
Yeah.
all around again. I think half points, and that balances out. For all the half points we got for Zori, there's a single point.
There we go.
No remainders. This is all clean division here. All right, cool. Question 13: Is Dark Ray real or a vision?
Oh, I'm nervous.
James said real because that's what I want.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sticking with that.
Hey.
And she was real. That wasn't a vision.
Heidi, you said a vision. Robin, you said a vision through Mortis, but let's give you that point anyway.
Robin was just like, this
That Mortis
movie.
phrase.
That was one of the mornings.
You were like, let's
Um,
just call this movie The Rise of Mortis and get it over with.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I said Paul Bettany's Vision.
So you're wrong.
Yeah. That's. I always forget Dark Ray is in this movie. It was such a quick scene.
Oh, can we just 1 second. The Dark Ray thing. I really liked the Dark Ray, and I liked the Dark Ray in the trailer, and I liked what we saw, and I'm like, she's not a vision. That was real. But did you guys think, Robin, I'll start with you, then Heidi, then Andrew on this one. Do you think it was that the movie would have benefited if we didn't see that image of Dark Ray in the D23 trailer?
That's such a good point, because I feel like there were other ways that they, and maybe this is just me being speculatory on how they marketed this thing now looking back at it, but the more I look at Dark Ray and the way that they put it in there as like a way of drawing people in, I feel like there could have been other things that they could have used instead of her in that moment. A little bit more, I'm gonna say it now, of Ray and Kylo, like a little bit more, maybe just a quick scene of them on the remnants of the Death Star, something a little bit more in those terms. But I mean, it's so hard to know, you know. At the time, it probably felt good. It felt good for Lucasfilm to put that in there as a way to draw people in. But in the long run, now that we've all seen it, I look back at it and I'm like, would have worked better on its own, just first time seeing it.
That's why I said, hi, I'll get to you in 1 second, but that's why I said yes, because I want it, because I was really hoping that in the movie, you knew when you saw it, it's like, okay, that's the Luke vision in Dagobah, and it's gonna be quick. But I was just holding out that hope that no, not that Rey was gonna go dark, but there would be more to it than just bump, 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 Kylo.
Yeah, very quick. Yeah.
Heidi.
Again, I think the whole reason they even filmed that was to make it clickbait.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, it wasn't really that shocking. I mean, it would have been shocking if it actually happened, but it didn't really happen. I mean, the only other thing they could have done was maybe show the scene where they don't actually show who she stabs, but it shows that she stabbed somebody with Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Yeah.
But I think the whole reason they even shot that scene was just for the trailer moment. So they did the same thing with Last Jedi. I think that's the only reason she grabbed the red lightsaber in Last Jedi was just for
You said that too, yeah. Andrew?
Yeah, I think showing Dark Ray in the trailer was 100% a mistake. Because, like you guys are saying, it could have been like it could have actually been like a truly scary jump scare in a Star Wars, where she walks in that room and we're like, what's she gonna find? We're thinking she's gonna find the Wayfinder, whatever that is, and then boom, here's this vision of her looking all scary and grim reapery. Instead, it's just like, okay, here comes Dark Ray. We know it's coming at this moment, and then it's over. I think I said in an earlier show after seeing the movie, like, showing Dark Ray and showing 3PO with a crossbow in the marketing was full on bad for them. Like, because all you did was make something look like it's going to be important and then have it not be.
That's the problem with Dark Ray. Dark Ray is because right now Ben Solo is all over the marketing. Dark Ray is when you put Dark Ray in the marketing. I think you think, oh, there's this moment, and I think, you know, if you put her in the trailer, especially the second, like the middle trailer, that moment should have, I think, been bigger, because it's just there to hype you up, and because it's so early in advance, we all kind of figured out, it's like, well, it's just going to be to hype us up, and that was a little, I mean, I loved it, but it was still, when you think about it, I think it's a little bit disappointing the way it was handled.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, just to quickly add on to that, is now that I look at some, like, I have to admit, Paul Bateman on Facebook and everything, he works directly with the Star Wars art group and everything, and there's going to be that art of the Skywalker that's coming out, and I think it was actually a missed opportunity. I think that would have been great for the marketing. Leave it at that, and then in that moment when the door opens and she goes to the Wayfinder, and that whole scene happens, I actually, now that I look back at it, I would have loved to have seen her staring at Dark Ray, standing next to Kylo Ren on the throne, like in the vision she had. That would have had more impact, because as she left, Kylo's right there.
Well, I was just thinking, because I'm an old lady, I remember the Empire Strikes Back trailers actually came out, and they didn't show Luke getting his head cut off.
Right.
Yeah, and it's the same basically.
Shocker. I mean, he cuts his head off and then explodes, and you see his face. I mean, that freaked me out. I mean, I was very young at the time, but it still freaked me out.
And even like how calm his face is. Like he just got decapitated, and he's just like. Yeah, that was eerie. No, Ben Quadinaros had more screen time than Ray. It would have made more sense to end a trailer with the stinger of Ben Quadinaros going, "Whoa!" That would have had more impact than showing Dark Ray.
So Rancor review saying Dark Ray got me pumped up for the movie, and that's yes, that was the point of it, and it worked. I think it got us all really pumped up. It just, you know, what would everybody prefer? And I'll ask the chat as well before we get to the next question. What did you prefer? Rogue One style where the scene's not in the movie, or hiding Dark Ray? Like, it just feels like those are both like the same coin, just opposite ends of the same coin, you know? Like, it's like you get Dark Ray, but it's just a vision for half a second, or you get this scene in the trailer that's not in the movie. They both kind of feel... I mean, at least the scene not being in the movie is because they cut it after the trailer was made, you know? Whereas Dark Ray, they knew what Dark Ray was when they did it.
Again, I'm not getting paid millions of dollars, but if I had my druthers, I would have preferred showing her stab, not showing Kylo Ren, but showing her stab Kylo Ren with his lightsaber, because then you would have been like, what's going on? Who did she just kill with the red lightsaber? Yeah,
you could show the drop and the grab, and... There were moments of Rey, even her with the two lightsabers. If you just ended it with that, you're like, what?
Yeah.
So, anyway, Andrew, let's continue.
Okay. Where am I? Dark Ray, blah, blah, blah. Okay, question 14. Of the following options, which is the most likely explanation for Palpatine's return? This is going to be an interesting one.
Did anyone say none of the above?
So the three options I picked here, I guess there's a correct one. The three options I put were Sith Force Ghost, Holocron, or physical body. I guess that was a physical body. However it came to be there, we'll just say physical body is the right answer. And guess who's the only one who didn't say physical body? I said Sith Force Ghost. Hooray.
I mean, look, but you still get half a point, I think, because I think what they were saying is that you're wrong, whatever.
Yeah, I'm wrong. Robin said physical. Heidi said physical. James said physical, and then in brackets, but not Matt Smith.
Hey!
Yeah, so
ask me how happy I was when he didn't show up in the movie.
I was a little bit bummed that I couldn't see him just so I could, because I wanted to look at your face if he showed up. That's it. Otherwise, I'm happy he's not in it.
I have nothing against it being in the movie. Just don't lie to me that you're in the movie. And he wasn't, so there was no lying. So I'm back on good terms with Mr. Matt Smith.
I'm still so curious as to where that rumor started now.
I'll bet you he was cast to be in an early a draft of the movie, like an early script where he was probably like, whatever those rumors were, like he was a young Palpatine or an acolyte who Palpatine possessed or something. I bet you initially it was that and they were going to get him on board. And then somebody was like, just get Ian McDiarmid because he's awesome. And they were like, what? And Ian McDiarmid's like, I've been sitting here for the past 5 years waiting. The Rebels guys call me.
Ian McDiarmid was holding a green lightsaber. That's why they didn't see him. They looked right through him. Question 15 is C-3PO human cyborg relations making it out of this movie alive? Ooh, James is the only one who said no.
Mm-hmm. I
Heidi
think technically
said yes, but his memories were gone forever.
Not forever. I think 3PO is an interesting part of this movie.
It's about time.
I'm glad I was wrong. Let me be the first to say I'm glad I was wrong on that one.
Yeah, same. It's nice to have him be part of the adventure again. We haven't really felt that since Return of the Jedi, so it was.
Yeah.
I loved that he was there on board. All right. Bonus question number 1. Who will say I have a bad feeling about this?
Oh.
James and Heidi, you both said Lando.
Oh!
I don't know what kind of premonition opium you guys were smoking, but I don't know how you guys got that. That's insane.
Heidi, high five.
That's common sense.
Robin, you said Kylo Ren. I said Hux. We clearly didn't do our homework. But wow, okay, yeah. Congrats, James and Heidi. You got some Lando action. And the final bonus question: what will be the final word of the crawl? Does anybody remember what it actually was? If not, James, if you go to Wikipedia and look up Rise of Skywalker, I think it says the crawl.
All right, Rise. I can tell you what the first sentence was. I think they were like trying to. They were trying to like
power. I think the final word is power. Like something like Kylo Ren finds the source to challenge his power or something.
Did it feel like they were trying to outbad the Revenge of the Sith opening crawl, like the opening word war, and they were like, "We'll put the dead speak."
Seriously.
Like we'll talk about the movie in a second, but I really like The Rise of Skywalker, but that crawl was like, I don't. Were they drunk when they did it? Like, I'm starting to think that the JJ rumors are true, where he was like, this should be directed by Lucasfilm or something, and he was just like, just put words in the crawl.
That crawl was rough.
I was just like, oh my god, am I gonna hate this Star Wars movie?
If they want to make a special edition of Rise of Skywalker, I say we just let them and see what we get.
Okay, I have the crawl in front of me.
Okay, what do we got?
The last word is
it's power.
Yep.
How did you get that fast? You know what?
I went on Wikipedia.
Oh, I'm on the YouTube. I'm watching it.
Oh.
I don't... Take my money, YouTube. Now we can't be monetized.
So let's see if anybody said power. James and Heidi, you both said Skywalker.
Oh, we should have said Lando.
Well, you both got the last letter right.
Yeah. Oh, half a point.
That's an eighth of a point right there. Robin, you said rebellion. And I said galaxy.
Huh.
We all had really good answers, but the crawl had other plans.
Well, Horizon Brave loved the crawl, so maybe we're wrong, and it was the best crawl in Star Wars.
Oh, maybe somebody will make a movie about it like they did Rogue One.
Maybe. They'll make a movie about the transmission that she sent.
Could you guys imagine? Yeah. I'm just looking at the chat. Andrew is wrong. Usually says rural farm boy. He's not wrong. Charlie says James is always right. I'm okay with that. I don't know if that's what he meant, but I'm reading it like that, and I don't care. The Dead Speak, so classic B movie horror. True. So do you guys think I'll start Heidi to you and then Robin? Episode 10, we getting that in 10 years? Right, before you answer, rural farm boy probably, once he hears that, he'll leave. Because they're done, the story's over. But we're going to talk because guess what? People survived, and maybe Ben Solo's alive. Now I could put that in the keywords.
Well, Brooks did Spaceballs. Doing this again for Spaceballs 2, the search for more money. So.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on that.
Episode 10, man. I mean, within 10 years, I'm going to say it's going to be longer than that. I'm going to say about 12 to 13 years.
What do you think we're coming back?
Although they're going to be much older. I mean, we're going to be talking about very seasoned Daisy Ridley coming back in here. So
I'm okay with that. Heidi, do you think if they come back, that Palpatine will come back?
Only if Matt Smith.
Andrew, we getting this movie?
Well, you know that if it was up to me, this would have been a movie that was stretched into 2, and we'd be getting episode 10 sometime next year. That's what I wanted. But in a decade, no. I think you're right, Robin. I think we're gonna wait till Boyega and Ridley get a little long in the tooth, maybe some gray hairs, get them a little more older and distinguished, and then bring them back when today's kids have grown up and they're like, you know what? That new Star Wars character, Johan Breadwinner, played by Andrew Fantasia, he's a cool character, but I really miss the Finn and Rays of my youth. That's when Disney will...
I can't believe they found another Andrew Fantasia out there.
I can't believe they stole my idea for Johan Breadwinner. Yeah.
They fixed the CGI and were able to rip his arm off and beat him to death with it.
We got to tell everybody 9 o'clock on our sister channel. Is that what we should call it, Andrew? The RSPN Detours channel, which is youtube.com/digital charcuterie. 9 p.m. Jericho Kane, Andrew's good friend, not mine, just Andrew. Andrew's the only one that could befriend Jericho. He'll be playing through the first half hour of Jedi Fallen Order, so you can check that out there. This is called an advertisement.
If it's our sister channel, you have to do a scene where you take the scene in Return of the Jedi where Luke's talking to Leia about who they really are, but you put the Rebel Scum logo over Luke's face and the Detours logo over Leia's face, and just have it play out like that.
All right.
And she's like, I know. Somehow I've always known. That's, I want to see that.
It's not like that. He's my brother. Oh,
could you tell? Luke, was that what you could tell? He got so snippy. Han got snippy as hell, and that's.
I get off topic. You see a video where they show that again, and it shows him having a funny look, and then they go back to the scene on Hoth where they're like making out.
Oh yeah.
But Star Wars has always been planned from the very, very, very beginning. I like to think that there's a chance that we could revisit some of these characters. I am with Rural Farm Boy, though. I hope this saga is over. The Skywalker saga has come to an end, and I'm hoping that, like I said, I am hoping we see these characters once again, but I'm hoping we see them in somebody else's story along the ride with somebody else, like Rey. I don't want them, which is what I kind of hoped, as I lose my train of thought, which is what I was hoping this sequel trilogy was going to be when we first got it. It's like, this is going to be about Rey, Finn, and Poe. And it ended up being the Skywalker saga. So in fairness, it made sense to focus on Skywalkers. But I'm hoping whatever comes next, they're like, oh, by the way, Daisy Ridley is back, or Boyega's back, or maybe not all of them. Maybe just one of them is back. And it's about this character over here who finds something or has to go on this epic journey, and they're going to help. They're going to be that character's Obi-Wan Kenobi or something like that. And that's where I want to see the future of the episodic films go. Not so much whatever's coming next, but I hope we do go back to the episodic stuff because it's fun. And I'm really curious how they're going to start the next Star Wars movies without numbers.
Yeah, there's a big question mark with that. Like, will they have numbers? Will they still be called episode if they have numbers, or will they call it something else? Will they have a crawl? Won't they have a crawl? Like, it's such a mystery. My goodness, I can't wait to find out more.
Well, when Star Wars originally came out, it was just called Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't hope until it was released on HBO. After the second one, they put number 5 and put Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah, that's how they do it. So we'll see. I'm hoping whatever we get next, actually, like I said, maybe they don't define it by anything, and then they figure out where they are, go from there, and then into it.
Star Wars 3.41 or something.
Can they call any of these other movies coming out episodes though?
Yeah, I think as long as they make that differentiation, like if they say this is episode 1 of the Johann Breadwinner saga, then we know we know where they're going. And then if the crawl comes up and it says episode 1 in that crawl, then we understand. We're cool. We get it.
Robin, you look like you had a point to make there.
No, I think the only point I wanted to make is that we've been looking for a live-action Dash Rendar. I think Johann Breadwinner is our live-action Dash Rendar.
Ooh.
Exactly, and he will have lightsaber nunchucks. I'll leave you guys to decide what color they are.
I don't know. Maybe.
I thought Shazam wanted to play that part.
Yeah.
That's
See,
true.
Zachary Levi can just float on in there, and he can just play Dash Rendar.
I had to say Shazam. I forgot his name. I haven't seen Shazam. Should I? I don't know. I hear that I should, but I haven't
It's
yet.
fun, man. It's a fun movie.
Oh, I'm getting mixed reviews.
Go and watch it.
I want to know your thoughts on before we wrap up. The thoughts on Ben Solo, on the death of Ben Solo. Andrew, I'll start with you because I know you have no soul and you wanted him to die from the very start. Do you think we will find out if there is Force Ghost Ben Solo, or if he's, as Aaron Quinton likes to say, in the world between worlds or something like that, in a upcoming novel or comic book?
I think Force Ghost Ben Solo is that sounds like a musical term. It's like, okay, now we've reached the 5th bar, so somebody give me a Force Ghost Ben Solo, thank you. I I think that that's a given. It's only a matter of time before we get that in a book or a comic, or maybe even like Galaxy's Edge. Maybe they make like a hologram Force Ghost of him. They just record Adam Driver saying some stuff, and he appears and he talks to you. Maybe he yells at you like in Marriage Story, and he's like, "I hope you die," and then we're like, "Whoa," and he's like, "Oh, just kidding. Buy something from the gift shop, kids." I'd like to believe that they're not done with him, and the Force Ghost. Like, if you're gonna create Force Ghosts, take advantage of it. So he's around. He's coming. Don't you worry. He's coming.
Heidi?
Well, I don't know if you know, I think Adam Driver is hosting Saturday Night Live next weekend. So.
Ooh.
Yes, he is.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I mean, they can do anything in a comic book or a cartoon or whatever. I was just thinking maybe what I would like to have seen is like when she sees Rey. I mean, when Rey sees Luke and Leia out in the desert, maybe like this blue hand could have been on her shoulder.
Oh. Wow.
But again, I'm not writing the script. But.
I like that idea. I mean, that would actually be like the connective tissue within where we left off and where it's going forward right there. I mean, yeah, I mean, SNL's coming up with him soon, so there's always the possibility of Force Ghost Matt, the radar technician, coming into the SNL script somewhere.
You know what would be a great skit? Sorry to cut you off, Rob. But
No.
like, imagine like they do a skit that's like set between 8 and 9, where it's Matt the radar technician hanging out with like Ray and Finn and Poe, and none of them recognize him. You look awfully familiar. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just here to fix your radar.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be cool.
He entered her body when he died. Now they're
Oh.
Ah.
Dyad. Yeah.
Dyad. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think there's got to be something in there. I mean, Pablo and the story crew don't leave things open-ended like that. I see them using Force Ghost Ben Solo in some other form and some other point. Maybe you wait till Adam Driver gets older and you use them in the episode 10, episode 11, whatever they want to do going forward with that. I mean, then there's also the possibility, like Andrew said, I mean, Marriage Story, you know, that entire scene where he's singing in the restaurant. I mean, you really could. You got to utilize. I think about Adam Driver in the scene in Lincoln when he's sending the message over the it's like, just make him a Force Ghost. Make him send messages to the Union as a Force Ghost.
And it's funny because the song he sings is called "Being Alive."
So there you go.
I will say this: if they bring him back as a Force Ghost in a comic or a book, to me that's a cheap move. Do you guys understand why he's not there at the end of the movie?
Because Leia's gone.
But Leia's there.
Oh, why he's not there on Tatooine?
Yeah.
I didn't give him much thought, but I like what Heidi's saying, where he's like a part of Rey.
That seems to be a common thread. Yeah. It makes sense, but it doesn't make enough sense to be satisfying. Do you know what I mean? Like, I find a lot of people are unsatisfied with him. He disappears, and then what? And there's no hint that, I mean, to me, there's a little bit of a hint that he's in Rey, but there's no real hint that he's in Rey. He's not there with Leia or Luke. Like, wouldn't it have been nice if Leia was next to her son? Like, wouldn't that have been like the ultimate? Like, because for me, I think what happens with Leia and Ben, and how Ben saves Rey and then passes away, I think that whole sequence is great. But wouldn't have it just been that extra step, the extra mile, if he was beside his mother at the end? Because the whole trilogy, she just wants her son to come home and be with her, and they had this moment to do that. And I mean, you know, I've heard a lot of theories, and I have my own thoughts. but I just don't understand why, of all things, not to put in this movie. That's the one that, and they never even like designed a Force Ghost Ben.
Right.
I mean, I don't know anything official, but I sort of have the theory that he actually died when he fell down the cavern, and he was actually a Force Ghost when he crawled out.
Oh, well, I haven't heard that. So why don't you keep talking, and I'll pretend this is my theory. Go.
No, I'm saying, I mean, you know, how do you survive a fall like that? And maybe he didn't know he was dead, and he crawled out, and then he just totally gave her his life force, and then they made out, and that was it.
Huh.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you go in that theory, that's why like the theory that he got absorbed to her the way Palpatine tried.
That's interesting.
And they were one. They are connected. They are a dyad in the Force. They are together. I think J.J. Abrams said the relationship was beyond Reylo. It was more than just people. It was also almost a brother-sister bond. Which my first reaction was ew, but then I remembered Leia and Luke making out, so I'm like, well, that's Star Wars.
Star Wars did it before it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
They were like ahead of the time before Game of Thrones came around.
Wait, it was cool? Wait.
In Game of Thrones land. I'm just reading the chat right now. Everybody says that whatever Andrew says is wrong.
I have no money.
I just to me, look, I like I said, I like the ending. I'm not gonna argue anything. If you didn't like it, that's also fine. I just think if they're because JJ was like, oh, I think I'm hoping you find it satisfying. Well, wouldn't just the one moment of Leia with her son be satisfying?
You know, that's the one thing also, James, and everybody here, that I think, and it's very important actually to think about this too, is that what is the one thing that Disney is very good at? They're very good at strategic placement.
Yes.
And holding off on things to make sure that they have a product later on to work with. And I feel like JJ, I'm going to be honest, I feel like JJ wanted Ben Solo to be in there. But somebody deep down in Disney and Lucasfilm in the inner depths said, hold on a second. How can we, sorry to say it, how can we make money? How can we build this brand even more? How can we do this going forward? Because Ben Solo and Adam Driver is an appealing brand look and an appealing actor and everything else. I feel like that there was probably we always hear about creative conflicts happening when it comes to the development of these films. The difference between Trevorrow and Abrams, I feel like there was probably something within there. Because that when the fans notice something like that, I feel like there's always that exterior plan that came into effect.
Well, then is then the fault on calling this the end of the Skywalker saga?
I never liked it that they marketed it that way.
I agree with you, but they did.
And they did. And I think, again, that as much, and I'll say this, the sequel trilogy itself has been nothing but, I feel like, one of the best things to happen here. But I feel like in terms of where the interests are from a corporate standpoint and from where we are moving forward with this brand and the company and the story itself, I think they jumped the gun a little bit on it, to be honest with you, now that I look back at it. I really do.
Well, this is just a rumor I heard around here. I don't have any proof. And if this is true, this is why I want to see the JJ cut, because this is the only thing that Disney might have done with the sequel trilogy that I wasn't happy about. Apparently, they shot Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ben Solo.
I heard that too.
Cut it out so they could have the flying stormtroopers to sell more toys. And my thinking is, I would rather have a ghost Obi-Wan, Yoda, Mace Windu than a flying stormtrooper toy. So that's the only decision that I didn't like. If that is true, that's why I'm curious to see what the JJ cut is.
Right.
But the only reason they had to cut something to put in the flying stormtroopers.
Here's my counter to that, though: is where are the toys?
We've run into that. We come out on Force Friday and we're like, the one thing that the fans are looking for in terms of the toys and the marketing and whatever else. Even with the Black Series, I've waited so many series like Wave 4, Wave 5, and I'm like, where is this figure? Where has this shown up?
Yeah.
And it's that weird stipulation between what's going to make money and what's going to please people. And it's never a winning battle. It's never going to be.
But how
Because
you've spoiled Dark Ray. Force Friday, shove Dark Ray in my face. Because Force Friday, I will buy every Dark Ray figure you have.
Exactly.
Maybe
Now-
they're still trying to figure out how to do the hinge lightsaber.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. But there are like no toys for this film at all on the shelves where I am. I've looked at multiple stores. I mean, I don't have half as many as you Americans and your Targets, Targets, and what are the other ones? FYEs and WDZZs and all these. I don't know what they are. You have stores, and we have Walmart and a video game store that sells toys. These are our options.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen any. I mean, Baby Yoda's not even going to go on sale till May, so.
Missed opportunity.
Well, Baby Yoda, see, I can agree with because they're like, well, it would have got spoiled. But where are the Rise of Skywalker? Where are the flying stormtroopers? Who cares? They showed that a month before the movie. Who cares if that gets spoiled?
I'm going to be honest with you. The stuff that we're talking about here, like the Hasbro, the large, like 8 to 10 inch figures and stuff that are here in Walmarts, they're already showing up on Walmart clearance racks for $3, to be honest with you, because they're not selling. They're not leaving the shelves.
Because they're not very good, do you think?
I think it's just a they and I think this is where the marketing side comes in with the toys too, is like everybody really wants Black Series, not just because of the packaging, but because there's a collectible factor to it.
Yeah.
Funko Pops. There's a collectible factor to it. When Hasbro puts out these figures that only move like one direction, there's no manipulation, there's no stimulation with the character itself. So it's like, they're going to end up on those clearance racks.
They didn't evolve with the times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I feel that. I just think, but I was like Heidi said, she heard that stuff was removed to put in a scene so that they sell toys, but they're not even on the shelves. So
I'd rather have Force Ghost Obi-Wan Kenobi than a flying stormtrooper.
any day of the week. Although, wait, you're talking to me. Check this out. I can't reach it. I got a Sand Trooper Funko Pop because I like Stormtroopers. So maybe Star Wars isn't for you, Heidi. Maybe it's for me and only me. Because I'm like, a red Stormtrooper? Give me all the toys. Give me all of them. I'm just joking.
I have interesting trivia. Do you know how action figures came to be?
No.
Because originally, like, G.I. Joe and Super Friends, they were all like Barbie size. But when Star Wars came out, they had these big ships, and the only way they were going to be able to fit them was to make them small. And that's how the action figure got started. Because you couldn't have a Millennium Falcon for a Barbie type character. So that was the only way you could get them.
that's true.
Wow.
And
You're
then-
welcome. The George
Yeah.
Lucas is saying you're welcome somewhere right now.
Yep.
Wow, that's really cool. I'm so bummed out by that rumor that you just told us about, Heidi, because if that is really the case, if they cut out that, like, those actors flew to set one day and got in costume and did that thing, and if they cut that out for Jet Troopers, to me that's wrong on so many levels. One is clearly superior.
I love the movie, but that's why I'm so adamant about seeing. If that rumor's true, that's why I'm so adamant about seeing the JJ cut.
Yeah, and like, again, I know I beat this dead horse so much, and everybody in the world is probably sick of me saying this, but what's wrong with having them both in? If your movie's a little bit longer, we're like, at this point, guys, Titanic, Avatar, Endgame, 3-hour movies, top 3 movies in the world. You will make money if your movie is long. Do not panic if your movie is long. I don't, if those 3 movies' existence hasn't made studios not scared of long movies, then I don't know what will. I honestly don't know what will at this point.
What I watch the Star Wars movie is it doesn't seem. It's not like the movie Empire, which is an 8-hour shot of the Empire State Building. That was a Andy Warhol movie. He just
Right.
Oh, Andy Warhol.
the Empire State Building for 8 hours. I don't know who sits for that. When you watch a Star Wars movie, I mean, it breezes through it. Like, everyone I've ever known has said the same thing. The first time they ever saw A New Hope, they thought the movie was 15 minutes long because it was non-stop action and the time just flew by.
Yeah. And you know what actually I felt that the most with, surprisingly, was Solo. Solo it's on the longer end. Like, it's longer than Force Awakens. It's longer than Rogue One by like a few minutes. And when I was done with it, I was like, wow, that felt like it was in and it was done. Like, that was it. But it's just, that's the ride it takes you on. It's a roller coaster, right? And a roller coaster, as soon as you start like getting into the thick of it, you're like, wow, this is the most fun I've had in ages. The ride's over and you got to go again. Like, Rise of Skywalker needed to be so much longer, and I will never. I still like absolutely love the movie, and I had a great time with Rise of Skywalker. But to my dying breath, I would be like, that should have been 2 movies or 4 hours.
The only thing is things get cut for a reason, and I don't think Lucasfilm and especially Disney were nervous about a long movie.
True.
So why were things cut? If it's like there's probably other things, and maybe they didn't work. That's the thing nobody is considering when they look at the artwork, which is really cool. But what if things don't work? What if they did not work? They shot a scene, and you're like, whew. What if they shot a scene where Kylo kills a kid? Then his redemption, I'm like, well, Anakin did it, but he got redeemed 40 years later. You know what I mean? Like, there might be things in it that make it longer and better or more interesting, but they might not work. It might just be like, you might sit there and be like, whew, I got to get through this scene now, or I got to get through that one. And we all have to step back. Remember, it might not be. Like, it might make the movie 100 times better. I don't know. I'm just saying, there's that other side where maybe it was cut for a reason, and they were really good reasons.
Do you guys think at all, and I kind of was hypothesizing on this the other night when I was kind of going through, just breezing through IMDb, going through this Wikipedia, whatever else, kind of looking up some of the stuff that happened with Trevorrow. I was curious just to see like where maybe something would have went wrong at any point and why he was taken off of working on episode 9. Do you guys think at all, and I'm starting to think this now, is that maybe Trevorrow really gave Disney and Lucasfilm a hard time because of the creative piece? A lot of the things that could have been cut from episode 9, think of this, were things that JJ added in, but because of contract stipulation or because of bringing Trevorrow in, they said, hold on, JJ, we have to cut this because due to the contract, and even though we had to remove Colin from it, due to the creative nature that he added to the script, and he's still in everything you see, his name is still attached to some of this stuff. JJ, we got to cut it out because due to contract obligations, this idea that Trevorrow had has to be in this film, or else we're going to see something larger from him. I feel like there's also something business associated that got involved with this that may have cut away from this film.
Do you find
That's a really, really good point, Robin. I think you might be right.
Another rumor I heard, again, I don't know if this is true. These are just online rumors. Apparently, JJ wanted to do an episode 10.
Yeah.
But Lucasfilm was like, no, we promised George Lucas it would only be 3 movies. So I don't know. Like I said.
Yeah.
That's another topic, because if you're gonna make 3 movies, then shouldn't all 3 of these movies have been the Rise of Skywalker in 3 movies?
Yeah.
Like the plot of the Rise of Skywalker should have been the entire sequel trilogy, essentially. If that's what it's ultimately going to be about. I don't know. I just I loved it. I loved the sequel trilogy. And I think that The Rise of Skywalker works well with The Last Jedi. I think I'm in a minority there, but I think right now when you have those 2 together, I think they work wonderfully well.
No, I think they work well together. I mean, like JJ retconned her family. No, he didn't, because he left it open for interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He told her what she knew.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Johnson even said, that's just how they know it now. That doesn't mean.
Yeah.
So no, he didn't on anything. At the time, that's what the characters knew.
Yeah, and if you have a memory and I look into your memory, I'm going to see your recollection of that, not what actually happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, George Lucas originally had Darth Vader kill Anakin Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
That was retconned by Obi-Wan saying, oh, oh well, I told you from a certain point of view. That's a retcon.
Mhm.
But Ryan Johnson left it open if anyone wanted to change it.
There was more retconning in the original trilogy than we saw in the sequel trilogy.
So true.
How dare you?
Have you guys seen my videos of if the Star Wars trilogy came out in the modern times? Those were fun to make.
Yeah, they would definitely be destroyed. But let's wrap things up. This was a lot of fun. We'll end it with some F-105 Desert Planet, because that's where the Rise of Skywalker ends. Heidi, we got it right. No one else did. Well, you got it right. We'll give you Mustafar. I guess now it's a Desert
Oh
Planet.
yeah, we have to
kind
give you Mustafar. Yeah, you guys.
No,
did much
100%
better
Mustafar.
than I did. No, Robin said Mustafar.
No, I know. You got nothing right because you're not very
I
smart.
got nothing right. No,
You don't know Star. You don't like Star Wars. That's the
No.
problem. When you understand.
I'm actually just waiting to start a Dune podcast, but they're taking their sweet ass time over at Denny Villeneuve Boulevard. But
I was told that I wasn't a Star Wars fan because I liked the Rise of Skywalker, and I said, "All right, fair enough." Who am I to argue that?
That's the James answer.
Yeah, like, nah, you know what? I don't like Star Wars. Next week on the Sabrina the Teenage Witch podcast, we'll be talking all things Riverdale and how Archie Andrews may or may not end up with Betty, not Veronica.
blasphemer.
All right, Robin, we're going to say goodbye. Where can everybody find you at?
Oh, you guys can follow everything happening at the Brick City Blockade, of course, over on Twitter and on Instagram. Check out our feed on iTunes and on Spotify. We got a bunch of episodes up there for you to listen to. Our journey to episode 9, reviewing all the Star Wars films leading up to the Rise of Skywalker there for you to listen to. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Vote Tweets, and make sure to head over to the website, brickcityblockade.com.
Absolutely. Heidi, anything you want to plug? Oh, do you have some books that are better than Side Scroller?
A lot better.
A lot better. Where can everybody find those at?
You can find them anywhere, android.com or anywhere books are sold online. And I don't know when, but Thursday I'm speaking on a radio show called the Dr. Jeanette Wellness Show. So
Oh, cool.
just
Awesome.
record, I don't know when it's gonna air.
Well-
I did an erotic podcast and that still hasn't aired. So.
Well, some of them take time. Unlike this one where we're live and flawless. All right. That was a joke. Andrew, why don't you plug your book and your YouTube channel?
Yeah, my book. Let me grab this. Oh, by the way, Robin, if you have videos or images of your Black Series collection, I'd love to see that. 'Cause I'm all about that Black Series. This is a side scroller. This is a book. It's slightly less good than those books that Heidi just held up, but it's still a pretty sexy chunk of fiction.
How many pages is it?
I'll tell you right now how many pages it is without spoiling for you. 617 pages.
It explains why he wants such a long Star Wars movie.
Yeah, JJ didn't cut anything out of this. The Knights of Ren actually do stuff in this book. But you can find, yeah, I went there. You can find this on Amazon.com or .uk or wherever you live. You can find it on Amazon. Just look up Side Scroller, and you can find me here on the Rebel Scum podcast channel or on my channel, Andrew Fantasia. And other than that, you can find me in prison. Probably.
And
I
you-
like to hang out.
I gotta tell you, 2 Med 2's channel is doing a live stream at 8:30. Check that out. And at 9 o'clock on our Rebel Scum RSPN Detour channel, Jericho will be playing Jedi Fallen Order. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you guys for joining us, Heidi and Robin. It was a lot of fun reliving these moments. We gotta come back and do another chat with you guys soon. But until next time, may the force of others be with you.
Always.